All right. Welcome back to the Working Title Show with Zach Sams. We are here with a great guest, actually, and it is 2019. It is our second recording of the year, and I am thrilled to be back with you all. It is a beautiful day out there, and we are in DFW. It is the best economy in the country, the best real estate market in the country, and it's the best place to live, obviously, because everybody seems to be moving here. So that's what this show's about. We're going to talk about the good news, no bad, and we're going to learn something about the real estate market going into 2019 with our great guests. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest host with us today, Shana Acquisto, or is it Shana?
It's Shana.
Shana Acquisto, Mike Acquisto, and Mike Shepard. Is that right?
Roger that.
Right on. Thanks, guys, so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And as always, in the booth, Zach Lewis, our great producer. Zach, what's going on, man?
Zach, how's it going? I'm going to be honest. I think there's a problem with the color grading on my camera because it looks like I'm in a very different room than the one you're in. It's like bright red. I don't know if you can see that on the monitor.
That's just your glow and
that's
your
what
aura.
That is. Yeah, putting out nothing but positive in here. How's it going, Zach?
Well, now that you mention, the lights and everything, it's really, I think you're cooking us in here right now.
Yeah?
Yeah. Does anybody else feel cooked?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
It's a little warm.
Feels good to me.
A little warm. All right. Well, it'll keep us loose and limber. We won't pull any muscles on this show today. So, well, guys, thanks again for being here. 2019, and Shana, let's start with you. Y'all are in the real estate business. Tell us a little bit about, what y'all do, where y'all are, and kind of, what your real estate business is all about.
Okay, so Mike and I are both brokers, and we own our own brokerage. We have 12 agents. We actually live in Frisco.
Okay.
So the majority of our business is North Dallas.
Frisco. Nobody's ever heard of Frisco.
Yeah, it's the fastest growing city.
Oh, yeah, that
Might
Frisco.
wanna visit it,
Yeah, okay.
So primarily, we focus on, we kind of live at the four corners, which is Frisco, McKinney, Plano, and Allen.
Sure.
Right there. So we're in a really good location. And, like I said, we have 12 agents, and we really love what we do.
And it's residential is y'all's main focus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We focus on residential.
Right on. Well, residential real estate in Dallas has just been going like crazy. So, it's January, right? So we're kicking off, a new year. A lot of stuff in the news over the last few months about the markets and things like that. And I think people are always kind of wondering, like, well, what's going to happen this year, economy-wise? But real estate is such a, barometer of our economy. So what are, if I ran into a cocktail party, I was like, hey, what's going to happen in real estate this year? What are you telling people? What are you thinking?
I feel this year is actually going to be a good year.
Yeah.
So we talked about last year. And, I know a lot of people say, when's the bubble going to pop? But, last year we were in June, I think we looked at, we were about 30% ahead of what we were previous year. Previous year.
18, you were 30% ahead of 17.
Yes.
Okay.
But then at the end of the year, we kind of fell short. And the reason is typically after school starts, you see things start to slow down.
Sure.
December is historically,
low.
A slow month.
Yeah.
But then it kind of rebounded very quickly.
Yeah.
So I think what we consider it to be is the market stabilizing and kind of balancing out to a more of a healthy market. I feel like it's still a seller's market all the way, but I think it's balancing out, which is, essentially good for us.
Pendulum's kind of turning back the other way there. Mm-hmm. Well, that's good, and healthy market's good. So you mentioned bubble earlier, and I hear that a lot, but, or the bubble is going to burst, but we're really not in a bubble here, would you say? I think that's kind of one of those buzzwords that's kind of flown out of 2008, and people are still saying that. But does it, when you hear that in the marketplace, you're like, we're really not in a bubble. Does that kind of like, people just don't know what they're talking about a lot of times?
Well, I think people read a lot. They hear what's on the news, and it's typically nationally.
Yeah.
Like you hear the country as a whole, but our area, even when we had the 2007 and 2008 market,
sure,
we still were pretty stable. We were a stabilized market compared to other parts of the country. So,
interesting.
Yeah. So I don't think we're in any type of bubble here.
I don't think so either. So why don't you introduce the other two guests you have with us? Let's start with directly to your right.
Well, this handsome man is my husband, who I get to work with every day. Luckily, me. And then we
No
have
sarcasm there.
No,
Okay.
no, actually, not at all. Not at all. We get to work together every day. It's what makes us great.
Yeah.
And then we have Mike Shepard, who we are extremely thankful for. Him and his wife work together as a team, and they joined us a few years ago, and
Awesome.
we are very grateful to have them as well. So.
All right, and both of y'all are recent award winners. Is that true?
Yes, we are. Thank you for bringing that up.
Well, Mike, why don't we start with Mike's award?
Yeah.
So, Mike, tell us what's this award that I heard about you winning recently?
Well, the Acquistos have started off with a quarterly award that they seem to call the Badass Award, and so it's a
That sounds like a good award.
it's a roving belt. It's a WWF kind of belt that we will pass along to whoever owns it each quarter.
I kind of feel like you should have entered like the show with some music and the belt like over
Yes.
your
I
shoulder
agree.
or something.
Yeah, I should have
Next
brought
time.
it.
You hold it up.
Yes. Yeah, we can
We can do that
rumble.
next
We
time.
can rumble next time.
You're gonna have to win it again for
Exactly.
the next show.
Yeah, we'll
All
hold
right.
on to it for a while.
Oh, he's got
Okay.
big shoes to fill.
Oh,
so.
okay.
So it's all good. Yeah, it's that's a roving award that we'll keep in our house for a while.
So Mike's the champ, and he gets to hold on to the belt until somebody comes and takes it from him.
So how does somebody take that from Mike?
So they have to go above and beyond. And that's kind of the whole thing of being a badass, is to get the award, you have to just take what is required and you have to really raise the bar substantially. And Mike really did it over the last business quarter. He made a huge difference in what he was doing. He took when the economy was down and when it was cold and when it was rainy and when everything was dreary and no one wanted to really work. And it's so easy to take off all those days during Christmas and Thanksgiving and just put zeros up.
Yeah.
And Mike stood there and put in all the effort that's required. And then all of a sudden we get around to January. And
That pays dividends, I assume.
totally pays dividends, and he's got contract after contract after contract. And he had a difficult year family-wise. He had some health problems with some close family members, and he just totally barreled through it and was just an amazing man for his family, and he was just totally a badass. And he deserves the award, and somebody in our company has to come take it from him.
They got
So
to
he's
raise the
champ.
bar even higher, right?
Yeah, so Mike set the bar.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear more about y'all's team. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back soon with the Working Title Show with Zach Sams. All right, and we are back with the Working Title Show with Zach Sams. Zach, is that the Ramones?
Yes,
It's
the
awesome
Ramones.
music.
That's exactly who that is.
That's the Ramones
You got
spelled
it.
with like R-O, right?
Uh-huh,
Yeah. They're playing this weekend, actually, here locally. So, guys, we are back. We're back with the Acquistos.
Yes.
Shana, Mike, and Mike Shepard. See, I got it right.
Boom.
Oh, everybody's already forgotten about the last segment.
That's right.
All right. So, hey, when we left off, we were talking about the Badass Award, but there's actually another badass in the room, Shana, because you just won a major award, and I saw the picture that Mike sent me, and I mean, it's almost as tall as you. So, tell us about this award that you won. I mean, it's a big deal.
Well, I was very honored. I belong to the Women's Council of Realtors, and yesterday I was awarded with the Woman of the Year, Member
Wow.
of the Year.
Congratulations.
And it started in 1978. No, 74. 1974 was the first year that they started that award. So they gave me a trophy that's extremely large. We joke that it looks like the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, it does.
And it's sitting on my desk now. And it has the list of names of every realtor that won the award throughout the years. So
You're probably in some good company, I would
it
assume.
was yes.
Yeah.
It's when I looked at the list of names, I was very honored.
Yeah, very good. So,
It's very cool.
what does the WCR, the Women's Council of Realtors, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What are they? What did you do to get that award? What are they looking for in the Woman of the Year for WCR?
Well, it's a lot of hours of volunteering and serving,
Right.
and So
are you on the board there as well?
yes,
Okay.
I was on the board as well.
Sure.
I served as secretary for the Women's Council last year in
Uh-huh.
2018. And, it's lots of planning and events. They host a big event that I love every year that's a fundraiser. It's called Battle of the Bras, and it's
Yeah,
to raise funds for cancer patients who are going through treatment,
Yeah.
to help them get to and from, and just various needs that they have as they go through the treatment. So,
Absolutely.
I think that is a wonderful fundraiser.
It is.
And I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Well, that's awesome. Well, congratulations
Thank you.
on winning that. So
Thanks.
I'm sure all your clients will be very impressed. Will you bring
It's
that with
impressive.
you when you go like show a home, like the trophy?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take it everywhere.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
It's kind of heavy,
just
but
put it out
I
in
might
front,
need Mike
you know.
to come with me. And
Well,
I'll
it's a
carry
good thing
it.
she's been working out because the trophy it's enormous and it's very
It is
heavy
big.
and yeah, it's definitely a thing.
It's really nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's go. Let's talk about y'all's real estate. Y'all are y'all a real estate team? Is that the right? Is that what y'all call yourselves? Like, tell us about Acquisto.
So we consider ourselves a real estate family.
Oh, I like that.
We consider all of us equal and motivate each other and a family environment. So,
Sure.
There's lots of teams out there and different brokerages as well, but we consider ourselves a real estate family.
Okay. And so go deeper in that. Like, what is the makeup of that? Does everybody have their own roles, or is that?
Yeah.
Mike, is that your question there?
Yeah, sure, I'll take that one. So the wife and myself, we started the firm 18
wife.
years ago.
The wife.
Yeah.
That's me.
And so we started 18 years ago, and we started as a small independent brokerage, and it was like a lifestyle business just to make it work for us. And there were things that were important to us then. And then over a period of time, we got a little bit better at what we do each day. And as it evolved, we started to create a lot of opportunities for agents to go out and close business. And Shana is amazing, and everyone that's worked with her kind of understands the difference in the level of how excellent she is at what she does. And as we continue to evolve, we just really wanted to share more of who we are and what we do with people. So we ended up evolving into a family brokerage, and that word's important to us. We bring people into our home, and we home office, and we have a way of doing things that tries to get people to be really close to us. And Shana creates a lot of great relationships with each one of the clients that she meets. Mm-hmm. And, they end up considering her to be an aunt, a cousin, somebody really close to them. They go through a lot as you go through a transaction, and she creates a lot of great friendships and family members.
Well, that's awesome. And y'all do a lot of parties at y'all's home, and y'all's office and home are interchangeable, right? Y'all work from okay.
All in one.
So tell us about these parties y'all do. I heard Mike mention something about it, I guess yesterday at one of our other events. So what are the parties about?
So something we love to do is create an atmosphere that we, host and
Right.
bring people together. And just seeing people have fun and being able to entertain and let them, enjoy themselves is really something that we love to do. So we started in the beginning with one party, and now it's evolved into 4
Yeah, four-quarter.
big events each year.
How many
And,
people are at these parties?
Last time we had about 300
Good grief.
at our house. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. We love it.
Do all the
like our
neighbors come
favorite
too,
thing.
so they don't call the cops?
We have
okay.
to invite the neighbors. They look forward to it.
Very nice.
We have to include them.
So we'll have things like we always have a band. So Shana gets a really good band that has been playing with us for a long time now. And they come and set up, and if the weather's nice, they're able to set up outside in the alley. So we shut down the whole alley. We open it up. People party by the pool. We bring in a bartender. The Christmas event is a BYOB event, so everyone brings a bottle of wine and they share it.
Nice.
We have a sommelier there who goes over, if you might like this wine, you could like that wine. And at the end, people
Interesting.
like a lot of wine. I think they like quantity is what it comes down to.
But we do like to do various parties. So
Right.
we also found, on the other side of that we do a family event where we did this last year. We started it last year. We ran out a movie theater and
Oh, that's great.
had a new release of a kids movie. small foot, so we rented it out, and everyone could bring their kids because we don't want to, we want to
You wanna
include
include
everybody.
everyone.
Yes.
Family,
So we try to do
Yeah.
events that kind of cater to all types of people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we have to take a break, but we will be right back with the Acquistos, and stay tuned. This is the Working Title Show with Zach Sams. All right, we are back with Shana Acquisto, Mike Acquisto. I said Shana, didn't I? God almighty. Shana Acquisto, Mike Acquisto, and Mike Shepard. Hey, Mike Shepard, Mr. Badass. I have a question for you. So, you as an agent on a real estate family, not a real estate team.
Thank you.
You got a lot of options out there on who's going to hold your license and where you're going to operate out of. What keeps you working at Acquisto Real Estate, and what value do they bring to you as an agent under a broker?
Yeah, that's a good question because I've been licensed since 2006, and my wife was licensed in 2001, and so but part of the family we talked about a little earlier. I mean, it's a little bit bigger than the team in that, hey, they're willing to build our team, our group. I mean, my wife and I, my son-in-law is on my team, but as big as we want, we can build our group within the Acquisto family. But their support staff was there that takes a lot of the load off of us, so we can go out and help clients.
Right.
We can build our business, and so being there's so much support there, and being a small family and a little boutique broker, it just created some opportunities. Worked out. It's a good fit for our group. So
Sure. And with that type of atmosphere, is it easier to work with the client and possibly connect with the client in that type of atmosphere? I would think.
exactly.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have to deal with a lot of the admin, marketing, social media stuff on the front line as like I did before. Yeah, hands on everything. Where now we can we got people we can delegate that to help us and to help us
Focus on your strengths versus
Correct.
right.
That's
Okay.
Let's go sell a house.
Very interesting. So, second question. So, y'all both mentioned that you're brokers, right? So, what is that? What is the the person who doesn't really know exactly all the terms of real estate? What is the difference between a broker and agent? Because you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, this is my broker, this is that," and they really don't even know what they're talking about. They might be saying that, and they're not even talking. They're not even a broker. So, what separates the two?
So a broker holds the license of an agent. So
Right.
each agent has to be sponsored by a broker.
Okay.
So the broker is responsible for the agent. So they have all the liability of the agent, and they're responsible for their, for all of their business that they conduct.
Right.
So
if they make a mistake, it's on the broker, not
Yes.
on the agent. Mm-hmm. And if they do a great job, does the broker get all the credit?
no,
Right. Okay. So it's only one-sided, right?
in a way.
Yeah.
To me, if they succeed, then we've succeeded.
Absolutely. So, can anybody be a broker, or is there something that do you have to do something to reach that level? Like, how does that work?
There's criteria. There's a certain amount of transactions that you have to close.
Okay.
A certain amount of years, and there's just
Certain
a
amount of
little bit
years
additional
licensed.
criteria.
Okay.
And then more education.
More classes
So,
and things like that. All right. So naturally, if you're going to have people under you, you should have more experience, and that sounds like it's the
need more
experience you have
experience.
to get to
Yes.
that level.
Yes.
So you're both brokers now. So who's the lead broker? Whose license are y'all is the brokerage under?
We have a corporate license.
Okay.
Acquisto Real Estate has its own corporate license, and we actually have two separate companies.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
So we have two
Oh.
brokerages.
So two families.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. All right. So before we go and we get into like how we get a hold of you, I'm looking through this novel that Mike wrote for me before we got here, and it says you had a gun pulled on you.
Yes.
What happened there? This obviously wasn't one of the family members.
It was not no.
Right.
Well, a client family, I guess, but we had a we had a family that was from out of town in for a weekend to view homes. So we saw several homes. They had 2 small children.
Yeah.
And we went into we had an appointment scheduled for one property. And when we pulled up to that property, the property across the street was also for sale.
Oh.
And we didn't see that.
So
So it was at the end of the day, I called our showing service that we schedule showings through, and they scheduled it. They're like, yep, here's the showing instructions. So we went in there. We're a little early, so we went into that one first. And when we went in, it was a little strange. It was dark, and there were sheets all over the windows, and it was just vacant, and it was kind of odd.
spooky.
Kind of spooky. So it was a husband and wife and their kids. The wife took the children outside, and the husband and I proceeded to go through the home. So we went in and went to the master first. It was dark again, and went as I was walking in front of him to the master bath. I heard what I thought was like a shock, like a cocking
Like
of
the
a
shotgun,
gun.
pump shotgun type of sound.
So
Scary
I heard
sound.
that, and I said, hello? And he said, who's out there? Why are you in my house? And I said, sir, I'm a real estate broker. I'm showing this house. And before I could finish, he said, you're about to be a dead one. You've got 1 minute to get out of here. So the husband went out
Jeez.
and got the wife, and
But their house was actually on the market, or they had a sign in the yard or something, right?
what happened is the agent didn't take it off
Oh my
the
God.
market. He had closed already. We contacted the agent, and she said she was very sorry. Her assistant must not have taken it off the market.
Assistant went right under the bus there.
And she proceeded to tell me, proceeded to tell
Not
me
my
that
fault you're dead. It's my assistant's.
proceeded to tell me that the man was an ex-vet and had PTSD.
Oh.
So she's like, "You're pretty lucky." I'm like, "Okay."
Not really feeling lucky right now.
Wasn't feeling too lucky.
Yeah,
So,
good grief. Yeah. Well, there's some experience for you, right?
Yeah.
It's
We've
funny.
gone-
You hear
gone
those
through
stories
things.
right now. Yeah. You go in enough houses, you never know
Yeah.
what you're going to see,
No,
right?
we should write a book.
Y'all should. So if somebody wants to go see homes with you and possibly have a gun pulled on them, how do we get a hold of you? Where do we go look? Where do y'all want people to find you at?
Yeah, so the best place, and that's part of my daily job, is they can go to acquistorealestate.com, and they could ask for either one of us, Mike or Shana. So we'd be Mike at acquistorealestate.com. I'll get you all set up with an appointment. I'll ask you a couple of great questions. We'll get you out with Shana right away. But we'll start and just make sure that we start the process for you correctly and get you out with Shana exactly when you want to go.
Excellent, excellent. And we will link to that on the webpage so everybody can find y'all there. So before we cut, we got a couple more minutes left, and I just want to, I think this is a great question. We like to ask this at the beginning of the year, but, for buyers and for sellers, that are having those thoughts in their head, like, hey, this is the year we're going to buy a home, or, we're going to sell our home this year, the kids are out of the house, whatever the reason is. What do those buyers and sellers need to be thinking about going into the real estate market of 2019 versus maybe, what the climate was in 2018 or years before, or versus what they've been hearing in the national news?
Well, the main thing is to contact a professional to come and sit and evaluate and give you all of your options. Because one thing we know are interest rates have gone up a little bit.
Sure.
And they also need to understand things that they should or should not do to their home to get it prepared to sell. So now we have more inventory.
Do people do things they shouldn't do before
Absolutely.
contacting a real
Yes.
estate agent? What are some of those things?
A lot of people feel they're DIY specialists. They can watch a show on TV and all of a sudden it looks very easy, and then they start to do these various projects around the house, and they think, one thing leads to another, and before they know, they've way over improved their house.
You've seen my home improvements, obviously.
They do things that don't add any value, so there's certain updates and upgrades that you can do that you can expect,
Right. So some things you do prior to a listing might enhance the look or even the value, and other things that you might think would do that actually don't,
They
and
don't.
cost you more money
Yes.
than you should have spent in the first place.
I think my advice is not to believe everything you hear.
Right. But if it's on Google, it's true.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Just wanted to
just,
confirm that.
you know, if you believe it, that's fine. Just get a second opinion
Sure.
and understand, because we like to come in and show you the facts,
Right.
you know.
So that's kind of what a seller mistake they might have. What about a buyer? What mistakes are they making, that you could clue somebody into so they don't make?
So just as, you know, a lot of emphasis is given on a seller, you come with lots of information for a seller. And a lot of times with buyers, I find that agents just open the door and show them. And if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they move on to the next one. But that's not necessarily the case. There's a lot of prep that goes in when we have a buyer. We put together a whole buyer packet.
Yeah.
And we explain to them why this is a good investment or why it wouldn't be a good investment.
It seems like a buyer would need more information on the front end, and also depending on where they're coming from. If they're new to the market, they don't know anything about
They don't know
DFW,
anything.
right? But like you're actually making a choice where you're going to live, and that impacts like every day going forward after
You know,
that.
going
So-
to work, your family, there's many, many things that go into play. And we,
Do
you
people
know,
overlook some of those things?
yes,
Right.
all the time. They're so fascinated by the new and the cosmetic features of a home that they forget all of the other
It's emotion over logic
important
type of
emotion
thing.
over
Yeah.
logic.
So one of the items that I ask people when they're thinking about buying a home and they're not sure if they should use an agent or not, I ask them one simple question. And I say, sir, you're probably really smart. You know exactly what you should be doing on your own, and you can take care of this perfectly on your own. But have you thought about the fact that if you go buy the home on your own, that you probably didn't even check the National Sex Offender Registry, and you could be buying a home right next to a sex offender. So that's just one clear example, and that might be the house the person wanted. I don't know. They could want that as their neighbor, but
Yeah.
that's a very clear example of something that gets skipped often. When you work with a professional, we make sure we look at all those things, school ratings, and get you all the real information so you can make an informed decision that lasts.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they're you know, we're starting to see, especially further north that we go, that there's a lot of things such as a PID, which is they have PIDs and MUDs and all these different separate taxing entities that they
Yes.
don't show up anywhere. There's transfer fees. If you buy a home that's in a homeowners association, there's a transfer fee associated with a buyer and a seller
And that's
But
usually
people
on
don't
the
know that.
seller side, so the buyer's not knowing that they're getting into that.
until they go to
Into-
sell.
right, yeah.
So there's a lot of those things that we really try to lay out there so they can make a really good informed decision about when they purchase. We point out things that could be negative when they go to sell.
Right.
Most people here, I would say, don't live in their homes that long.
No.
You know, you see people move every 5 to 7 years. We have in this month alone, we have 2 sellers that lived in their home less than 4 months and
Good grief.
are both moving. Yes.
Wow.
So, you
Hey.
know, you just never know. So
You never know.
you want to make sure you put yourself in the best. It's an investment.
Right. Yeah.
Right,
With the
so-
best people and that
Yeah.
ask in the right questions, right?
Yes.
Well, I can't thank y'all enough for being here and sharing y'all's knowledge on the market, on real estate in general, and what y'all's team family is about, right?
Thank you.
And we look forward to having y'all back on.
Thanks. We
Absolutely.
Look forward to it as well.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having us.
You got it. You got it. Well, this has been the Working Title Show with Zach Sams, and we will see you next time. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for subscribing to the podcast and listening today. I want to give a special thanks to Kensington Vanguard National Title of Texas. The show is sponsored by them, and Kensington Vanguard is a national title company with local people working here in Dallas-Fort Worth, specializing in commercial title insurance and residential title insurance. Kensington Vanguard will handle your escrow needs as well as your title insurance and your closing services. So you can go to the website at www.kv-lonestar.com to find our locations and our contact information. and we appreciate you using Kensington Vanguard National Title of Texas. We look forward to seeing you next week, where we will be talking about solar energy in the residential and commercial spaces, and we are really excited to hear about that. Something I wanted to know about, so I'm really excited to hear more about how that works. So we'll catch you next time on Working Title with Zach Sams. Thank you.
You're listening to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.